Right, preview, we're playing Arsenal on Sunday at 4 o'clock. We've got Gaz, Squawker Dave and Adam on Skype. Right, let's start talking about this. There's 2 games to go. Pretty much Champions League is secured unless something ridiculous happens. Adam, is it time to start playing younger players, giving Wilson and Januzaj more of a slot in the first team for these last 2 games, or should we be pushing for every point?
First off, Champions League is guaranteed, yeah. 4th spot is guaranteed. Liverpool will not score 14 goals in 2 games. They won't score 7 goals in 2 games. Have you seen their lineup?
Win both the games.
Have you seen that? Exactly. Lambert, Balotelli, come on. We're in the Champions League. So well done, United. We got top 4, job done. But I do think we shouldn't change it up for this game, because if there's an opportunity of 3rd, we need to go for it, because obviously if we come 4th, our season starts a little bit earlier. So I'd like to see us get 3rd, but it is still difficult, because even if we beat Arsenal, it's still in their hands, isn't it?
Third is unlikely, to be fair, because Arsenal have a game in hand and City have got a few points clear of us.
But there's still a chance, though. If we can lose 3 games on the trot, there's no reason why Arsenal can't. And if we beat them on Sunday, that's 2. And they've got Sunderland, I believe, as well in the mix somewhere, who are battling for their lives and have found some form under Advocat. So it can happen.
Go on, guys.
I always thought that if you finish 4th, you have to play a qualifier against some bloody...
You do, yeah.
Yeah, some stupid team that no one's ever heard of. But
mate, their fans like them.
There's actually some potential, slip-ups there, isn't there, some of the teams? So
Amsterdam trip is in there somewhere, isn't it?
Who?
There's a trip to Ajax available as well.
Oh, in there, hope we get them.
Let's do that.
Go out.
When we won the treble, we had to qualify against Ludogorets or something, didn't we?
Didn't Liverpool lose?
Anybody remember that? Get in the
Was
comments.
it Debrecen?
Pretty sure that's right, something like that. Dave, what do you think? Should we be playing young players and giving some of the, like how we saw James Wilson at the end of last season, giving them a chance to get Premier League action?
I think I'd reiterate what Adam was saying, that momentum is absolutely key. It's key in football, it's key in sport. It's one of those things where it breeds confidence and it creates a good spiral. We want that spiral to be on the up for next season. So I think we've got to pick as many points up as we can. We look at our record against the top 6. We've already won that league. We've picked up the title. We've got 19 points so far against top 6 opposition. Chelsea are in 2nd place in that league with 16 points. So I just keep focusing on that. Get the mental strength for next season that we know that we can go out and we can beat any of the top 6 sides. Then we need to clean up the little teams and we won the league. Easy as that.
Okay. Right.
We're gonna win the league.
Let's talk about a former Manchester United youngster. Danny Welbeck is returning to Old Trafford for the 2nd time this season. Do we think he's proved he was right to leave in his search to be a centre forward? Do we miss him? Was it right to let him go after a year?
No, I don't think it was right for us to necessarily let him go. I think he could have been a good squad player for us, especially going into next season when I think Van Persie may end up going, and obviously I don't think we're going to sign Falcao. Sorry, Adam. And if he would have been a good squad player and he would have got a few games next season for us, but he wasn't patient enough, and I don't think he's made the right decision at all. I do think we'll finish above Arsenal next year, and I think he would have had a better career long term at United.
Adam McCullough, weigh in.
First of all, Gaz, don't apologise to me. Falcao's staying. I got confirmation. Give me
From who?
He's from him.
I've met him too.
I told him you better stay. High 5. He's staying. Job done.
Right,
anyway,
get to the point.
What was the question?
Danny Welbeck.
Welbeck, I think he's proven Louis van Gaal's decision right. I was gutted, obviously, but I still think there would have been a space for him in the squad if he did stay. But the decision was right to let him go. I just seen his form for Arsenal. Whilst he got a goal against us in the cup, it was always going to happen, wasn't it? Him scoring against us at Old Trafford. But I mean, overall on a season, either way you look at it, I'd still rather have that taking risk on Falcao over keeping Welbeck.
Don't quote me on this, but I think I saw something on Twitter the other day where he'd actually got more appearances and goals in a season with us than he has at Arsenal this season, or more appearances up front anyway, which I find bizarre.
Okay, well,
funny that he left and then he just plays out wide anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
He left.
People are thirsty for stats, Gaz, and they don't want from you. Squawker Dave.
Dave knows.
Well, I'm sad that Welbeck went. I think he was an excellent asset, and it was strange that Van Gaal is obviously likes to change his tactics up. That Danny Welbeck got shipped off. You can argue that Radovan Falcao scored 4 goals this season. Danny Welbeck's also scored 4 goals. Similar player. I would have rather have Danny Welbeck at Man United than Radovan Falcao 100%. But I think Danny Welbeck will come of age, and it will be a 20-goal season striker at some point in his career. And it's just about that time. Just waiting for that. And it's sad that a lad from Manchester, born and bred Man United, got shipped out, and I reckon that was a bad decision in my behalf. And it's going to be good to see him back.
20 goals a season striker, maybe in the Icelandic league or something.
I think though, while I do agree with you slightly, Dave, in the sense that I think he will become a Premier League striker, whether that's in the top 4 or in the bracket just below that. I do think that will happen, but I don't think it should be looked at as Falcao or Welbeck, because we had Wilson coming through as well, knocking on the door. And do you think Wilson's got more ability than Welbeck? I think from what we've seen at under 21 level, he has. Obviously, we haven't got to see it at first team level yet. So I think, as much as it hurt me and I would wanted Welbeck to stay, it was the right decision.
I'd say going back on that, you remember Danny Welbeck at the reserves? Luckily, I was living in Manchester when they were playing there. Danny Welbeck was so much better than James Wilson was at that level. To be quite honest, his finishing was absolutely brilliant. It was a hybrid between Carnu and Henry. He looked awesome, a lot better than James Wilson. I just think it's a shame. It's a big shame selling your players that have come through the club. You spent all that time and money investing in these talented individuals, and you ship them out to one of your rivals for 16 million quid in this market. Poor decision.
Stop being honest.
I agree in that sense.
Right, moving on from Danny Welbeck, you can't select him to face Arsenal, but you can select our current players. Gaz, who are you playing?
I've gone for a relatively strong squad. I don't think we should be throwing in too many youngsters, while third place is technically possible. So obviously De Gea in goal, Valencia, Smalling, Jones, Rojo at the back. I'm not sure what's going on with injuries. I'm not sure if Luke Shaw's out, but I'll put Rojo at left back. In midfield, I've gone for Herrera, Blind, and I've put Di Maria in there as well, because I think we might see him there a bit more next season when Depay comes in. I think you'll see Depay on one end of the front three and Mata there as well. And up front, I've gone for Mata, Rooney, and Young as your sort of front three. And even though I've complimented Ashley Young quite a bit this season because his form has been good, let's face it, I think that he doesn't have the long-term ability to be, a United starter. So I do think we'll see Depay take his role in the team next year. Okay, Dave, your team?
So I feel that we've been figured out of late. We're being a bit predictable tactically. So my team's a complete change. I go back to the 3-5-2 that we set up against Arsenal and we beat them at the Emirates. I think that we've been found out. Fellaini's been found out in terms of teams are now putting a man on him, a big lad in terms of Kurt Zuma, Jedinak, and they've just been nullified and they just sit back and hit us on the break. So I want to see a bit of variation. Everyone knows you beat Arsenal, you defend deep and hit them on the counter-attack. Swansea did it on Monday night. Gary Monk played Gylfi Sigurdsson as his striker, an attacking midfielder, sat back and hit on the break. Anyway, to my team, David De Gea in goal. He's been fantastic. I looked at some numbers today, right? Crunched some numbers. By my numbers, he's earned us an extra 36 points in the Premier League this season from games where he's turned it around in terms of saves. Likes of against Everton, against West Ham, against Arsenal, against Liverpool. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, so my back three, we've got Paddy McNair. He's got to be in there. Smalling, Jones, standard. Raphael at right wing back. We've got no one else there. Daley Blind, left wing back. Herrera, defensive midfield, number 6, think he'll work there. Then I've gone with Mata and Fellaini in central midfield. Fellaini, obviously, that physicality. Stick him on Santi Cazorla all day long. Get the aerial balls to him. He's going to win it all day long. Juan Mata, I want him to come inside a bit. He's been a bit negative. He gets the ball and plays it backwards. I want to have him with his face going forward to goal. That's why it's central midfield option there. Then I've gone with Rooney and Ashley Young up front. Rooney, obviously, our best striker. Ashley Young to give us a bit of width up the pitch. That's my team.
Okay, right, just quickly before we move on to Arsenal, Adam, what do you think of those two teams?
I think Dave's wrong because Raphael's bust his rib, hasn't he, unfortunately? And we'll probably never see him in a United shirt again, which is sad. I keep wanting Di Maria to start, but is he injured? Or what's going on with that?
No. Is he off the PSG?
He was on crutches, wasn't he, before the Crystal Palace game?
Apparently so, yeah.
So injured on last Wednesday.
I do agree with what Dave's saying is, though, that we seem to have been found out in a sense that we're using Fellaini, who should be a Plan B player, as our Plan A. And far too often, I said it even against Villa at home, when we were whipping in balls, there was 2-3 men marking Fellaini. And we're not creating enough for the strikers anyway. So it just doesn't make sense. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is it David De Gea's last ever game at Old Trafford?
Behave.
Right.
Let's talk about Arsenal.
Well, bad.
Dave, nice and quick. Who are the people we got to worry about?
Santi Cazorla, he's been Arsenal's best man in the last few months, a little magician. We saw his pass to Ramsey against Hull, absolutely brilliant. Other brilliant performances against Man City. He's Arsenal's top passer, top creator, and top assister this season. So he's someone that we need to watch out for. Obviously, Alexis Sanchez is another big one. We probably should have bought him in the summer instead of Radamel Falcao. They're the two danger men, I'd say.
Okay, Gaz, anything you want to add?
Yeah, you've got them exciting sort of players, but I've also think you've got to watch out for a big lad in Giroud up front. But I think we've got Small in there to keep him quiet. And I'm not too scared, actually, going into this game. We seem to have played really well against the top teams, and I do think we can win.
Okay, go on, Adam.
Obviously, the obvious ones, isn't it? Alexis Sanchez, which has been mentioned. Cazorla, I like him. Mesut Ozil could come into his own in these kind of big games where he's not expected to, because of the way he plays for Arsenal, he's not expected to tear up these teams anymore, but he's still got it in him. And if we give him the space and the time in the centre of the area, in the central of the pitch, especially with someone like Welbeck or Sanchez running into the lines, creating the space, then they could become a threat. But I do think if we play our game, if we can get Fellaini in there, ruffling them up in the middle of the park, and we get Wayne Rooney back to his usual self, get Wayne Rooney up front. You know how much he loves playing against Arsenal. I don't think we've had a good performance from Wayne Rooney all year.
Boom.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't even when we were playing well, beating City, beating Liverpool, beating Tottenham, and we played well against Chelsea. Wayne Rooney didn't. So we need a performance out of him, and I expect him to get a goal against Arsenal.
Okay. All right, thank you, Adam. Now, some people say we don't provide the insight that Sky Sports do, but like you ask Adam McCullough, who do we worry about against Arsenal? And he'll tell you, it's obviously the obvious ones. Now, prediction time. Gaz, what's the score going to be?
It's better than Thierry Henry. I'll say, I think it's going to be a crap game, to be honest, but I do think we'll edge it 1-0, just.
Squawker Dave.
Going to go with 2-1 again.
Adam.
I'm going 2-0 United. We're going to beat Arsenal, and we're going to finish third.
I want to say something
Guys,
different.
you shut up.
3-0? I don't think it'll be 3-0, but I want to say something
Who's
different.
that?
Right, that's it. Let us know what you think. Get your thoughts on Danny Welbeck, the team, Radamel Falcao, Andrew Di Maria, Fellaini, whether we're playing young players in these last few games. Anything you want to say, really, get it in the comments below. Have a debate. We'll get involved too, and we will see you next time. Laters.